Welcome back, you forsaken Patriots. I got my buddy Will Spencer here with me today. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
So for those of you that may know or may not know you, your parents had started Nature's Paradise, what, like 93, 94? Talk about that a little bit.
So my parents started the store in 1994. Kind of the saying has always been keeping you healthier than ever before since 1994. My dad had had a heart attack and he was out. He worked for a large corporation as a sales rep. And by doing that, what he would do is he was trying to find healthy places to eat. So one time while he was out on the road, he called my mom and he goes, I know what we're going to do. And she goes, what's that? And he goes, we're going to open a health food store. She goes, okay. So what they did was they sold their Harley Davidson, and that was what they used to kind of have the money backing to, you know, get inventory and start the store. And we started at right behind Brady Optical.
Okay.
And they outgrew that in 3 months. So the community was really supportive of it. And when that happened, we had to find a new location. So then we moved up on Commercial Street, right there in that empty parking lot, right across from Dynamic Disc. And we were there for a while. And in 3 years, we outgrew that as well. So then it became, okay, where are we going to move? Or are we going to build new? And that's when the decision came to go ahead and go with a new location. And that's where we're at 1511 West 6th Avenue. So we've been in that location now for, I would say, 26 years. We're getting ready. This will be our 30th year.
Right.
Supporting the community and everything like that. So January 1st, 2010, my dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And so my parents came to me, and this was after I got out of the Air Force. And they said, hey, do you want to step into your dad's role? And I said, family over everything. So that was my way of helping and kind of give to my family. I know the business and I love giving to the community. And that was the big deal. And that's what started the store. So, yeah.
So you're an Emporia graduate from Emporia High School.
Correct.
And then you talked about the Air Force. So what did you do in the Air Force?
So when I went to the Air Force, I enlisted for 6 years and went in and had chosen to do services, which was, it's kind of like a jack of all trades. Some people look at it as like a simpler job or anything like that. But while I was in, I learned so much more. Services, you can do the cooking, the hotel lodging, personal training, and search and recovery. And it all depends on like what you were qualified for and everything like that. And I was highly qualified in the search and recovery, and because I have the fitness background with the store, the personal training and stuff, and got into that. And then I ended up getting MRSA in my knee.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happened, we didn't know whether it was a spider bite or what happened, but I got really, really sick and went septic. And that's when the whole process started of like an honorable medical discharge. And when that happened, then they looked at, do we make him undeployable? So when that happened, then they put me into paralegal, and I started working with the commander of the base and, learning all the other jobs, because I was like, if I get out, I want to learn as much as I possibly can. I want to, go out to the shooting range and get qualified in every single weapon, do everything you possibly can, get the full experience. And I did that. And then, then of course the honorable medical discharge comes and you get sent home.
Did you hear that, internets? He's part crayon eater, just like us.
Yes.
So why, dude, I can't stop. Why are you here?
Well, I'm here to sit there and really, really support your channel.
I appreciate that.
But also get the word out to a lot of the people that listen, and, show and share about what I've been doing, not only for the community here locally, with my business, but also, last year I ran for city commissioner, and, had every intention to run for city commissioner again, because, by doing that and stepping into it, because so many people asked me to run, I was like, okay, what can I do for the community? And by doing this and talking to the people, I learned everything that we really are needing to do, and the things that are being done incorrectly, and how everybody needs a voice. And a lot of people don't know how to speak up, but I'm so personable and approachable that people looked at me as a great voice to be able to step into that position. So that's where I made that decision and was ready to go with it again. And then I've had a lot of organizations come to me just recently, and I stepped in and started doing the Civic Leadership Institute class
Mm-hmm.
to learn about how the city operates, the different aspects of it, and have really been enjoying that class. We were 2 classes in, and I think it's a great thing, and I suggest more of the community, and you should definitely consider doing it as well the next time they do the next one. But you learn so much about the community and how it operates and the different aspects and why things are done certain ways. That was going on, and these organizations approached me and have asked me to run for House of Representatives. So I thought it over and took my time with it, and brought up the different things that I felt were big talking points, and different things that when you step into a role like this, the different aspects. And I said, if this is your feelings, I'm not your guy. If this is your feelings, then let's roll with it. And they were very, very, very much adamant on supporting me and pushing me for this candidacy. And so now I'm on the ballot to run for House of Representatives.
That's fantastic, dude.
Yeah.
So I know that you talked about a little bit of last year running for city commissioner,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously with your position as a leader and a business owner here in Emporia, your mindset towards city commission had always been a people based position. Has that any of that changed
No.
versus people versus self?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very, very selfless. And, I'm all about supporting the community and putting together the different things to make the community grow. Because if the community grows, all the businesses grow. And, the long term plan is to sit there and create something that is long term. Everybody has this mindset that we want it now. And I think that's the wrong part of society, and probably that's the military mindset, is the long-term goal, and this is why we're going to this country, this is why we're having to do this mission or that, and you know it's the long-term goal. But we have this mindset we have to do it now, and with that creates a lot of issues and a lot of conflicts, and just tears everything apart. And so that's where I feel like we as a community need to come together, stop the divide. We've got
Yep.
this huge divide going on all around, and stop that and put things together that we can sit there and say, years down the road, this is exactly why we did it. So, yeah.
So, and you're running against Mark Schreiber.
Yep.
Um, is there
That'll
is
be
there
in the
anything
primary. That'll be in the
right?
primary.
The
So, yeah.
primary, is there anything that you want to talk about as far as that you might do different, whether it's thoughts or ideas?
So some different, of course, I wrote some different things down because, of course, we're so early on in my campaign. We're putting everything together, but I've some big bullet points. Improving property taxes. That's something that everybody looks at and looks at it as an issue and everything. We have to pay property taxes. It's a given. But that's again going back to that mindset that they want to raise the property taxes so high that it makes everything unaffordable for people. And then it becomes a deal of only certain individuals come out winning in that aspect. So we have to come up with a long term plan in that aspect in order to create those funds that we can sit there and support those different improvements like the infrastructure and the different things that we need to do, and instead of handing money out to millionaires and everything like that want to
Right,
start certain businesses. I have that mindset. I'm a business owner. I didn't ask for handouts like my parents. They sold something in order to start
right,
something, and you sit there and you continue to put your money into it. You don't take money from others in order to make that function. And that's where I have that mindset. In some aspects, grants, funding, everything like that can be very beneficial, but if it's in that long-term goal. So that goes back to another bullet point of supporting family-owned businesses and having those major corporations that want to come into your community into the law and have long-term plans in building in the community, because we get a lot of these corporations that come in that can go, well, if you don't want to give to us, we don't want to come in.
Right.
And I want those large corporations that are coming into our community to sit there and say, yes, we're going to be here. We're going to be in the long term. And any of our employees, their family can depend on this as a long term job that they can retire from and know that the family is going to be supported all the way through that. I think we've lost that in a lot of aspects. Tyson used to be, IBP used to be one of those. And then by it downsizing, that's affected the community. So you've got a lot of these different things that happen. And then you've got, some of these development projects that are happening. And, we're improving the infrastructure over there without anything being done. And you look at things in that aspect and you go, we just improved that property value millions of dollars and nothing's been done.
Right.
And I've got a problem with that because I'm like, who is it going to benefit? And that's those large corporations. And I asked, why didn't we approach those corporations and have conversations with those corporations? Would you be willing to invest into, this project because you're going to benefit from it?
Right.
90% of them would have said yes.
Right.
And then that money would have saved millions of dollars coming out of taxpayer funds that could have went to other aspects. So that's some different things. And then, of course, being military, being a veteran, we know battling the mental health crisis. That is something that we deal with on all different levels, not only just internally with us, but we see it in our communities. We see it everywhere we go. And communities it's getting worse and worse. So that's a big thing. And then I feel like, us being in Emporia and being in this area, we're home of Veterans Day. We need to improve veterans benefits. We're in Kansas, we're in Emporia. Why are we not trying the different things to sit there and offer the best benefits for veterans and doing things? Because if we as a community start offering veterans benefits, veterans are going to move. They're going to start veterans businesses. And disabled veterans are going to take the worst of the worst jobs. They'll work 2 hours here and there in that rush hour. You can send them home and they'll come back because they want to sit there and feel like they're giving.
Right.
They have that mindset that they want to give, they want to be involved, and they'll be dedicated to a job almost for life because that's what was instilled with us.
Right.
So that's a big thing. And then, of course, fighting the current inflation. We have such an inflation issue. So coming up with different things to sit there and battle that and make that work. And that's where, having these conversations with these major corporations and building relationships with these corporations, I think I would be very, very beneficial because, I plan on long term having those relationships with those corporations because a lot of times we bring them into the community. We say, hey, here you go. Here's your tax break. And then we don't talk to them anymore.
Right.
And then they feel like, okay, we can do whatever we want. But we need to sit there and stay involved with them, help them continue to grow because they're going to help the community continue to grow. And I think that can be very, very great. And then, of course, improving public safety and then long-term plans of society improvements. So those are the different things that I've been working on, talking over with people and putting together into this platform for this candidacy because I think this is something that could really, really help us all as a whole. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I wanted to tell you real quick, kind of funny, but when I turn on the news, I was told that we don't have an issue with inflation.
Well,
everything's fine. It's not on fire, Will. What are you talking about?
But, this is also something that we also were taught. Don't believe everything you read. Don't believe everything you see. Because that's something that, is being put out there. But, I live it. I live it as a business owner. I have to raise prices because I'm being charged more.
Yep.
I'm being blocked on certain products that I can get because major corporations are getting first dibs on it, even though we both are buying at from the same distributor or anything in that aspect, but they want to give to the others before me. When COVID happened, that was a horrible thing that affected so many people. But I told everybody because they were like, businesses are shutting down. I was ordering ahead of time to sit there and make sure that everybody in this community could get the supplements that I knew that they needed. And my mom was like, well, what if we have to shut down?
Right.
I said, trust me. I said, I'll live here. can't kick me out of my house. I'll live here. Everybody can come in the back door. We'll figure it out.
Right.
And by doing what we did, we were listed as essential. And then we worked with Trolley House, because Trolley House could not open as a distillery, but they could make hand sanitizer.
Right.
So we opened up as a retail outlet for them because they weren't able to meet the demands of the public. So we offered, and we were selling hand sanitizer left and right. People were coming in, it was that rush like you couldn't believe.
Right.
But by doing that and then utilizing our buying power, it was us that made it to where the banks could open, the courthouse could open, everything in that aspect. So we were sitting there making sure that the society could run. And, not to sit there and take that full credit or anything like that, because other people were doing their jobs as well. But that's where you come together as a society and make it work. But it was those different things. And then when we reach out and, try to get, assistance during this,
right,
we're denied because we're being told we're doing too good. So that's where I sit there and I go, a lot of times we're giving money to new businesses. We're giving money to these large corporations that are coming in. But we can't forget those brick and mortar businesses that are in your community, because by having them, that put together everything, because more than likely that family has a home there.
Yep.
More than one home. They own their building. So that's all tax money that's coming in. When you're supporting those others, sometimes your local money is going elsewhere.
Right. So basically, your mom and dad started this store. You're a real person, like we talked about. So your business relationship with the community, not only do you provide a service, but Shop Emporia First, we come to you guys. How is that going to play when you make it to the House of Representatives, as far as that symbiotic relationship of, hey, I'm going to take what I know as a business owner and.
So I've made it to where with my business, I offer, and even before, I made it to where, free deliveries within the Emporia community. I made it to where, we offered, to be open different hours. So if people hit us up on our Facebook page, we're available. And I feel the same thing as far as this platform goes, because people know where I'm at.
Right.
They know I'm available. And I want to make sure that everybody knows that even with this position, I'm still going to make sure that I'm always available so that people can approach me with their problems. We can talk about their problems. We can put together a plan. We can discuss it. Not saying that we can get everything fixed, because, some things, it's going to take that long-term plan in order to put things together and put together that plan. And that's where I want everybody to come together and understand we want that long term.
Right.
We don't want the now. Some things, yes, we want it now, but if we do it now, we're risking mistakes.
Right.
And there'll be mistakes in that. And that's where we need to sit there and go, have faith in, the trust, because I've told everybody that, has supported me in this. If we're putting together a team of individuals, this isn't a team just for the campaign. This is a team to go long term throughout, that I want to sit there and really look at every single one of these issues and address these issues at the best of our capacity. So,
awesome. Yeah. Well, what's awesome is, one, you are a real person, and I've never known you to blow any smoke. Which, you turn on the news today and you can see, like, you're not a career politician, which actually makes you probably the best for the job, because you're a business owner who gives a crap about your community, your state. Being a veteran, you care about veterans, and I appreciate the fact that you're not a career politician.
Yeah, I don't, and I don't look at it as politics should be a career. I don't look at it as that aspect. As long as you can sit there and give that part of yourself, I think politics can be a good thing, because you can sit there and give yourself to your community, give yourself to that role, and sit there and help the community as a whole. When you can no longer give, then that's where you need to step out and you need to do something else. You need to experience something else. You need to find that part of yourself and go into that role. So that's that's a big thing with me. I didn't look at it as this was ever going to be something that I would do. But I've been asked, and when I'm asked to do things, I try to put the best effort that I possibly can into it. So, yes.
Well, dude, I appreciate you coming on here. What is take us home basically? What do you want to tell the 53 to 73 people that watch this? What do you want to tell them? It's this is your platform.
Well, I mean, we've got the primary coming up in August, and I feel like, that was something that I noticed with the election that happened with the city council, with the city commission. Um, Not enough people get out and vote. So share with your neighbors, share with your friends. It doesn't matter if it's one person, it doesn't matter if it's 53, 75, whatever that you have, on here. Every person matters. Every single voice counts. And that one voice can tell one voice and everything. And that just continues to grow. And that's something that can be really, really beneficial. And I want to make sure that everybody knows that, if you go out and you vote, and your vote matters, because if you're voting for me, you're voting for your voice. And I feel like I can be the voice for the people, and we can sit there and fix a lot of the things, because I'm not going to be just quiet. I'm not going to let people just walk over. I will be very, very vocal and, you know, disturb some people and upset some people. But that's because everybody else is disturbed and everybody else is upset, because I'm going in there with everybody else's feeling. And I think that can be a great, great thing. So, vote in the primary. If you're not registered to vote, get out and register to vote. That's a big thing. And then, again, vote in November.
Yep. One time though, we're gonna vote for Will one time. One person at a time. You get one vote. Vote for Will.
Yes.
We're not going to play the games of you can't have your dead relatives
Exactly.
vote for you. We're not going to do it that way. We're going to win the old-fashioned way.
And if the people choose another way, I support that as well too. I'm not going to fight or anything like that. I feel like, if that's your choice, I'll still sit there and give to the community as best that I possibly can.
Dude, I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you.
Will Spencer, everybody. Peace.